Checker one, checker one, checker. Is my team available? Checkers. Oh my God.
You know it's serious.
Fuck. I'm glad you're laughing though, Steven. No. Did he eat? Did you feed him?
Yeah,
All
I fed
business.
him. My sister cooked burgers.
They're very good.
Oh my God. What's going on, guys? How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
Fantastic. Hump day. It's hump day.
It's fucking Humpers Day. When people watch it, it's going to be even better than Humper Day because when people watch this, it's going to be Friday. Because, these get dropped on Fridays now. So
Right.
For the time being, man. But what's up, man? Hey, everyone who's been supporting and watching the episodes and whatnot, I'm supporting Unfiltered Reptiles Podcast. Thank you so much. If it's your first time tuning in on this, please do us all a solid. Subscribe to the channel, like, dislike, leave us a comment. We've been giving away fucking free stickers on a sick comment and whatnot. I'm actually got some shirts to give away too. So make sure you drop a sick comment and I'll give you one of these fuck Bob Smith special edition t-shirts. I'm dead ass serious. Okay. What I'm dead ass serious is when I get my rodents, it's only from the fucking best and the best. It's www.coldbloodedcafe.com. Freshest and the best is delivered to your doorstep. I'm talking about the day one pinks all the way to the whale shark fucking rats. I got them in the freezer, man. And if
that's like an artifact, man.
Hey, real quick, you got eggs. What do you do with them, Steven?
You put them in a sin container.
Why is that?
They're the best.
I mean,
literally,
do you want to treat your eggs like shit?
No,
you work so hard to get your eggs from whatever species you're so passionate about. Where you're gonna throw them in a shoebox, in the bottom of your closet, just leave them there? No, you're gonna treat them like how they deserve. You're gonna put them in a sim container.
It's like the Ritz-Carlton incubation.
It's crazy. It's
like how do you have those green tree monitors? How do you think we did it? How?
I even hear emerald clutches are great out of a sim container. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hey, okay, all seriousness. Shout out to a new sponsor, Focus 3 Habitats, dude. I know, Steven, you got some new stuff coming from them as well, right?
We do. Yep, we got some cages for some emeralds and some Sanzinia coming. So
dude, they're so fresh in those. This is what I have coming personally. This is one of the enclosures I have coming. It's like 36 inches tall and then 18 feet deep and all this other type of shit. But I have I have an adult emerald going in there. And man, I know Bill Stiegel has this. And one of my good homies, Juan, had one that's local, and they're the shit. So shout out to the new sponsor, Focus 3. I'm going to put their information in the description below, their website, their Instagram, and check them out, man. They're the real deal. They got some sick ass enclosures going on, and they're like the real light ones and like real convenient to move and stuff like that.
They look cool. Like, how many reptile cages just actually look cool? Like, find me cages that look actually cooler than what they're doing. I mean,
I just realized how close I had my computer to my face. Sorry. All right, cool.
Oh God.
All right, cool. So there's the sponsors. You guys know what the deal is, man. Shout out to the sponsors. We support. We love all the support and whatnot. And yeah, man, like I said, subscribe to the channel. And then listen, real quick. A lot of you who don't like to fuck with YouTube or don't like to, have to worry about keeping your phone on. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, Buzzsprout, all the major podcast platforms. All the links to those are in the description below. That way you have other options on how to listen to these because we're pretty popular on Apple and shit, just so you know. Tonight, Tonight, woo, we got somebody sick as fuck. You ready for tonight, guys? What is going on? Jesus. What is going on? Okay, dude, tonight, what do you guys know about this tonight? I mean, Steven, what's good? What do you know? Yeah, Basin. That's good.
What's like a universally known like favorite snake of most people, like the pinnacle of pythons and boas? Like, what would you say it is?
Like compared to what? Like the cream of the crop?
Compared to anything.
You can't compare it to anything. It's on its own fucking platform. It's on its own level. It's literally what dreams are made out of. And we're gonna talk a lot about it. Ooh, whoa, no, whoa. My bad.
What was that?
Give you guys a little sneak peek. But guys, listen, real quick. I haven't been in the game as far as as long as these two have, but I do happen to love. I mean, we love almost the same shit. That's true. I mean, let's be honest. We love basins, and you just got a basin from Ed Marino, which is fucking heavy goals. Heavy goals. How do you feel about that, Des?
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you have his bloodline in your mix.
I know.
That's crazy. You want to know? You want to know something else that's crazy? What'd she just say?
We're gonna make it snow.
Oh yeah, you are gonna make it snow. But man, the reason why I'm also excited about tonight's guest is that this guy has a lot of Merino bloodline in his mix. I don't know if it's all he has, but I can tell you right now, a lot of his shit came from Merino. And believe it or not, man, we got our man from Amazing Basins, the homie Alan. What's up, Alan?
What's up? What's up, guys? What's up? Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you, man.
Complete honor, man. How are you doing, bro? How's everything on your side?
Good. Chilling, just getting out of work, just grinding, dealing with all this COVID shit, but grinding, happy.
Yeah, man, I hope everything's okay with that. I mean, has COVID affected you in a bad way, as much as it has a lot of other people, or is it, not too bad? What's going on with that with you?
Well, not in a bad way. I do have, like a distant family member who unfortunately passed away from COVID. So, I mean, that was tough. I mean, it's affecting a lot of different people for different reasons. But, me personally, I've changed my career, a lot, and I'm always evolving, right? So I've been going through training, and, COVID training isn't the best, you know what I'm saying? But we're getting through it, we make it work. But, congrats to you guys on that basin. That basin is fire. That basin is fire. I talked to Ed about it, and he was telling me which one you picked out, because I know that you had a couple of them to choose from. So I like the one that you picked.
Thank you.
Yeah, in person, it's incredible.
I'm sorry. I was really nosy about, because I talk to Ed, I don't talk to him like every day and shit. But like when I found out that, Des and Steve were getting a snake, I was kind of getting like, I was like, what's up? What are you sending him? And Ed straight up said, he's like, well, I'm sending him something I didn't want to send. Like this was something. It was supposed to stay with him, and it let him go because of, he distinctly said because of the yellow in it. He's like, the yellow in the snake is just kind of different. You know what I mean? And like I was saying just right before we brought you in, Alan, I mean, how many emeralds do you actually have from Ed?
Not many, to be honest. Not many. I have a lot of like Ed's bloodline, but I only bought one snake from Ed. And then, I plan on picking up a couple more this season. I've been waiting a while because if you follow Ed, one of his best basins, well, two of them actually, Mirage and Blizzard, they just, had a litter. So I'm waiting on some babies from them. So those are like the heavy, snowflake babies. So I plan on getting a couple more. But this one right here, that's a female that I just had a litter. She had 4 babies. That's from Ed, but I didn't buy it off of him directly. So that's a well baby. And then all of her babies obviously are the same bloodline,
So so who does she come from?
So my friend Martin, hooked me up with her, and then my male as well. So my male's Yoda. I had a couple other babies that were also Ed bloodline, but unfortunately one of them passed. So I lost that one. But you know, the other ones are going strong.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say. I mean, I haven't seen too many with that kind of vibrant of yellow coming out either. I mean, I'm sure it's different in person, right, Steven? Like you guys were saying, it's snakes watching. I mean, seeing almost any basin over a phone is just through a phone.
It's not the same as in person.
Right.
Yeah. It really isn't the same.
Wow, that's crazy.
Ed got a lot of projects. You know, I've been to Ed's house a couple of times. You know, me and Ed are real cool, and he got this male that's like, you know, almost all yellow. So it has obviously a lot of white on it, but it has like these really big yellow patches. So I think that's going to be like something that you're going to see a lot more, you know, down the road, right? So, you know, when you look at guys like, you know, Trooper Walsh, who like was, you know, really working with the green tree pythons and really developing that yellow. A lot of this stuff, you know, was line bred or, you know, bred to other snakes that had those same, you know, characteristics. So, you know, you guys might be on like the forefront of that project with the yellow project, because to be honest, Ed hasn't really released many of them. Not to my knowledge. I mean, maybe he sold a few, but I don't think that he produced many. So the fact that you guys like got a male at an early stage, and you already got a nice female that's you know, that's lighter too, you know. I think that you guys are gonna make some fantastic babies.
I hope so, man. That's the goal.
Desiree likes that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I know, Desiree, you've been trying to get a male for a while. You know, me and you talked about it a little bit, and I'm glad. I'm happy for you, because you know, now that your female's up to size, you know, you want to, like, you know, stop pairing her up, right? So
Yeah.
you know, that's one less thing that you gotta, like, you know, deal with or worry about.
Yeah, but the female, like, she's like 4 or 5 years old now. She's a little bit small, but you know, she's not getting any younger, and it's hard to get a male with any sort of age on it, you know, and it's hard to get any basin really that's quality. So you know, it's like, really, it's, you know, get it now, and just, you know, sooner we get that male, the sooner we'll have a shot at breeding, because she'll be ready before him. So
yeah.
How old is your female again, Steven?
I think she's 5. I think she's 5 years old. Yeah.
I think I have the sibling to that female. I know that, well, where did you? I know that's a Volk female, right? But did you get it directly from Volk, or did you get it from someone else?
Did you guys get it? I think so. I think she came directly.
Okay. Because I remember Steve sold 2 females at the same time, and it went to another person that's out in Washington, and I'm a Basin nerd, so I look at all the pictures, I look at everything, man. I know, like, a lot of people's, you know, like the sire and dance, you know, for generations, and
so
I'm pretty sure I could be off. What's up?
We just found our Patrick Holmes for Basins.
Patrick Holmes is the man. I'll take that as a compliment. Patrick Holmes is the man. He's cool as shit, man. He's cool as shit. I'm about to get my Zen on real quick, you know, just meditate. But yeah, so that female, I think, was acquired by Eric. And I'm not sure. I mean, it looks like it. It really, really looks like it.
I mean, it could be. I don't know for sure.
But it was definitely produced. It was definitely produced by Steve for sure.
Yeah, it was
the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, hey, Alan, I want to kind of dig back into your. Well, I guess we could say before the Basins, because you've only been working with Basins for a handful of years, right? Am I right?
Yeah. I got my first Basins because I bought a group in 2015, so I'm 5 years in right now.
Okay.
All right.
But before Basins, I was working with ball pythons. So I'll just go into my background, because I know you're gonna probably ask the question anyways. You know what I'm saying? So I might as well just open it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, damn it, let me say the ball python part.
So,
because yeah, go ahead.
I got some ball pythons, you know, in 2008. 2008 is when I really started investing. But even before then, I had green trees in I want to say 2002, And I've had my first ball python in like 90s. I bought my first ball python from Kevin McCurley and Nerd. This is way back when pastels were out. You know, albinos, pieds, axanthics, genetic stripes. Those were out. But back in the day, you would buy like a normal, and they was either called harlequins or high golds. And there was a reptile show that I went to, and Kevin McCurley was there, and he just had a bin, and I literally was out there probably like a whole hour just looking at a bunch of normals trying to figure out which one I wanted. And back in the day, I mean, you know, those are like, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks. I was just a little kid, you know, getting into it. But in 2008, I started like really spending some money in ball pythons. I started to get into the lavender and then pie product. And then fast forward 2011, I had the third male dreamsicle ever produced. And then in 2012, I ended up selling out the collection. So I sold out, you know, me and wifey, we took a trip around the world.
Sick.
You know, but you know, I always had a passion for snakes, and I always wanted basins, but they were out of my league at the time, you know, because I was just spending so much money with ball pythons. So
Right.
now that I sold out of my collection, you know, I'm just sitting on, you know, a pile of cash, and then I just started buying basins. Right? Started buying basins.
I'm telling you, man. Ball pythons are the fucking introduction to so many things in life. I'm telling you,
They're the foundation of the entire reptile industry.
they're solid. Now, real quick, so
Yeah.
you know my boys, you know my boy who's your boy too, right? Shout out to the homie Socrates. You know the homie Socrates, right?
Oh yeah,
So-
that's my boy.
Real quick, how was this place? How was checking out his spot? I know you were there, obviously. You're there in the picture with them, but how was this place?
That was dope, man. You know, so you watch. Obviously, you're watching like, you know, his snaps and what his live feeds on IG, and we did it all. And we was like, you know, me, Sock, and Ari, we went outside. Maxie was out there too, but we went outside. We was like feeding turtles and shit.
Oh,
And
that's
it's so
hard.
funny because she's like the turtle whisperer, right? Like we go outside and literally, you know, we'll go to the pond and 20 turtles will just come up. You know, so we'll be out there with bread and just feeding them. And it's cool to see her, you know, interact with her snakes. So like, they're just like regular pets to her, you know? So hanging out with Socrates, man, he got so much stuff. I tell him all the time, I'm like, yo, bro, you got the best collection, in my opinion, the best collection in the world, right? Because he's heavy in the green trees and he got some fire green trees. He's heavy in the basins, you know.
Yeah.
He got everything. He got a Bolins now. Shout out to you. I saw that book. You know, I saw the snap of that book. You know, and then you know,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, Socrates is cool. You could chill with Socrates all day. You know, time just flies
Yeah,
by.
Yeah, dude, he's good peeps. So I mean, Socrates at one point was like, I think when we first, you know, when he was watching a lot of Unfiltered, he brought him. He's like, man, you got to get this guy Alan. And I was like, yeah, I know, you're right. And then remember, I hit you up a while ago, and I was like, yo, what are you trying to come on the podcast soon? And you're like, I will maybe. Like, you weren't ready yet. Do you remember that?
Nah, it's funny, like podcasts and stuff like that, you know, like live shit, you know, that's normally not my thing, you know. Like normally I just, you know, I'm low key. I try to be, you know, and but I'm happy to be here though. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, no, it's respect, bro. No, trust me, man. It's an awesome feeling because, like I said, Socrates brought up, you know, how I should get you on the podcast, and you know, you're here now, and it's amazing. And you know, he also told me, like, so when Socrates told me about the whole ball python thing, I was like, what? I had no idea. So I thought that was sick. But he also told me there was a gene that you worked with that was like rare, like either you discovered it or something, like it was fucking super rare, and he didn't know what the gene was. So do you know what that gene is?
Oh, nah. So what he's talking about, I know you had Chad Brown on, and you know, from Pro Exotics, and Pro Exotics, Chad Brown was big into the desert gene, not the desert ghost, the regular desert gene. So in 2011, before his facility died, I bought his logo, like that picture snake. It was the desert spider pied, and and that snake, man, got me sick, right? Because I bought it and I dropped some bucks on it, and then literally, like weeks later, we found out that the desert gene was a straight dud. And then basically my whole investment was lost. You know what I'm saying? So,
my God.
Jeez.
I'm over here at the forefront, so I'm building out this collection, and I got all these pieds, like big pied girls. I think I had like 5 girls or 4 girls like set up just for him. And then I had a dreamsicle male, and I'm building up my collection just around this. And this is way back. I'm telling you. So Ralph Davis produced the first dreamsicle male, the first dreamsicle. He had females first, but the first male. Then Justin Quebeca. And then mine was number 3. And so I'm building out this collection, and then, come to find out that this male, like my prize male, was like a dud. And, I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, what am I doing wrong here? Like I'm doing my research, and you just start questioning everything, maybe I'm not fit, or maybe I'm making some mistakes. So that's when I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a little break from snakes.
Fuck, that's a huge. I mean, man,
Yeah.
at least you came back from that. Jeez. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, yo, it was a hard beat, but yeah, you win some, you lose some, and the same way, the same thing is like with any project when you're on the front line, you take gambles, and but you got to be able to stomach the handle, you got to stomach the losses.
Yeah. You gotta learn how to handle it. I mean, that's that. I mean, I think me and Steven talk about like handling losses all the time, because this is kind of what this game teaches you to do, is handle losses. Like, and if you want to stay in it, then you're going to continue to get losses every now and then, but then you get your wins too,
Yeah. And I got my fair share of wins too, So like on that transition, me like building out this collection, my collection still, like I still had, a dreamsicle male, and I still had, like really valuable females. So so in that sense, when I ended up selling a collection, I did really well, So, I didn't have to like, sell it at a loss or like break even. Like I did really well for myself, like the way I built it up. And that's, like that's just business. You know what I'm saying? You grind, you build it up the right way. You invest wisely. And then later on, if you want to transition out, if you want to sell, there's nothing wrong. Like, I think there's like a negative connotation in the hobbies, saying that like, oh, this person like sold out, because at the end of the day, you're doing what you love. You're working with reptiles. But there shouldn't be like, shade just because, like either you make money, doing it, or B, you decide you want to move on to like other avenues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't know, man. I give a lot of props to people who come into the game who love reptiles, but they have that business mindset and they bring it into it, and I feel like that's how you really fucking put like pieces to what you have into full action and really get the full and really reap all the benefits out of it. Like what was something you really did to help build your shit in the beginning, especially because this is what pre-social media, this is pre like Instagram and everything, right?
Yeah. So when I got in, Justin was in already, and me and Justin were boys. And Justin, we're still boys.
Nice.
But when I got in, Justin was like a big help to like, ball pythons, right? Like we both had the same mindset, right? Like it's, if you want to grow, you got to start with females. And the same thing is true with basins, right? Like I tell people all the time, like, especially when you're just starting out, like, okay, for sure, you want to get your females first because they're going to mature, fast. I mean, they're going to take longer to mature. So you want to have them for longer, right? They take 5 years, maybe less, depending on who you ask. But it's important to start with like good quality stock, right? Because, if you half-ass on your females, then, ultimately, you're going to half-ass on babies. And so, just being like business savvy, I knew that it was important to like invest, especially in the beginning, invest most of my money on females, and then just pick up as many females as possible. Like even right now with Basins, at one point I was running 7 female Basins with only 1 male.
Damn.
And with Basins, you're really supposed to breed like 1-to-1, right? That's what people tell you. And not that I'm not putting that 1 male on 7 girls, or but he's in rotation. You know what I'm saying? He could take 2 girls this year, and then he could take 3 girls next year, or whatever he wants. And at the same time, too, if I find the right male, now I could buy, a male or 2, another male or 2, and then I got the females that are already ready for him. And I could take my time, really picking out, the animals that I want, right? So a lot of times, people want to rush into it, and they'll just say, "Oh, yeah, just give me whatever you got," and that's not the way that you should really look at it when you strategize, for the long term. So I'm like really big, like my hobbies. I love strategizing, and like right now in my career, I worked in a lot of different industries. I used to be a poker dealer for years. And then I got into banking, and I worked in personal banking, investment banking. So I was a stockbroker for a while, and now I'm in business banking. So now my job, my 9 to 5 is, I help people strategize on how to make their own business better. And it's a business that I don't necessarily know about, but the way my mind works is if you tell me a little bit about your business, then I'm probably gonna, like, naturally, just the way I normally think, I'm gonna look for holes, and then I'm gonna try to figure out ways that I could fill the holes, and then I give you those strategies, and then and then it's up to you to, like, grow out your business.
So you're a straight business coach.
Yeah.
That's what you are. And meant, you just you like you said, you kind of find the weak points or what the opportunities are in people's business fucking plans, and you help fill the holes basically. I mean, it sounds. I think pretty sure Ozzy does. Ozzy Boys, right?
Yeah, so I saw Ozzy on your show, and I started, like, paying more attention back into the ball pythons, right? So even though, like, I left ball pythons for a while, I always, like, still followed along and see who was producing what, and, like, what the latest most are and stuff like that. And then also, like, kind of still following the prices. Yeah, right. I mean, it's pretty dope, not Steven? Like, just to see what people are doing,
Yeah, I love the ball pythons. We just have so much other shit going on. It's like I can't spend a lot of time.
Yo, those first of all, hold up, Dad. Those monitors you got are sick. Those scrubs that you guys got are sick. There's so many. Like, I love that you guys are doing that, because, like, there's so much room to go with ball pythons, right? Like somebody was saying that, we wouldn't produce all the morphs that are out there for another 1,000 years or something crazy. But it's like, all right, cool. Beyond that, like, there's mad other species that are pretty dope, regardless of whether they have morphs or not. And I love doing that. Like, guys, I like watching your IG story and Kush too. I like watching your IG story because I'm like, oh shit, like, look at those fucking blue tree monitors. Like, I don't know nothing about them, and I've always wanted them. But I get to watch your story, and I'm like, little you guys, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's what's great about reptiles, man, is that there's just, like, there's so much shit to do that you could never do it. And, like, I feel like what we're trying to do is, like, show people that might have this just laser focus on ball python. It's like nothing wrong with that, but, like, here's the rest of the entire world, and, like, maybe have a pair of something else just to, like, take your mind off of just ball pythons. Like, I'm the kind of guy, I can't do one thing over and over again. Like, if I had just scrub pythons, I'd probably lose my mind after a while. Like,
you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I might. I don't know, but
with all, like, you mean just keep one species, or just because you have so many different styles of scrubs, so I don't see how you can get tired of it.
Well, I mean, same can be said about a ball python, though.
Come on. No, sure. Ball python's a ball python. No, I mean, ball pythons are sick. Yeah. Like, they have different visions, but, like, I don't know, like.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah. Scrubs are a little more variable. But I'm saying, like, they're just different colors and patterns and stuff like that. You can say the same about ball pythons. It's just like there's a bunch of other cool shit, and everyone just keep doing their ball pythons, but
Do you think somebody out there keeps a private room of ball pythons that nobody's ever seen before? Or they're really?
I mean,
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I mean,
hell yeah.
Yeah, you
There's
think?
mad people that do that. Hell yeah.
I know they are in Europe.
There's mad people that on the low.
I like that. I respect that.
I'm trying to become friends with low-key breeders. What's up with you? You got the farm. You got the farm popping.
I got the what?
You got the farm popping.
The what?
You got those. The farm. Your backyard with the
generic. Yeah. Just to,
he's like, whoa.
Yeah. No, I was like, wait, what's popping? No. No, I did, but shit just landed in my lap. Like I got a big yard and shit. My neighbors had alpacas that they didn't want to keep no more, so I ended up swooping those. And then I had already had a chicken coop, and I got snakes. Why not just add to it? I love animals, bro. Like I love animals, and I could be having the worst day, or I could, because I got moods. You know what I mean? I'm human, so I get in moods, and whenever I just go do animal stuff, it just whatever it is, I don't think about it. And alpacas is a huge piece of that, because as much as I love looking at snakes, it's still like, I don't want to say work, but I'm thinking about the next move with snakes constantly. I'm always thinking like, what's next with this? What's next with that? With the alpacas, I could just fucking post up with them and I'm chilling. I get spit on them. You know what I mean? But I just like it because it gets my mind off shit. You know what I mean? And I'm an overthinker.
You like getting on.
Yeah. I try to get the. Go ahead.
Wifey just told me the other night. She's like, "What's up? You want to get some alpacas?" I'm like, "Oh shit, let me hit up MJ first."
Man,
I know that they gotta be in herds. They gotta be in herds, right? You can't just have one.
You need two. You need two. You don't want no males. You don't want no males unless you want to go there with there. You know what I mean? Because the males are the ones that they can't help but to fuck all the time, and they literally will hurt themselves. I just because I'm a part of a few alpaca groups on Facebook. Dude, you guys should see how you should see how nice I am.
On those groups. That'd be hilarious.
I'm the nicest guy. I'm the nicest guy in the alpaca groups. I could understand. I don't know what it is, but then you put me in a snake group, and I'm like, fucking idiots. Fuck these piece of shit people. I don't know what it is. I don't believe it. Alpaca groups, it's where it's at. They're all friendly now. I can't even. No, they go in on each other on alpaca. They go in on each other on alpaca groups too. So groups in general, it happens everywhere. Yeah, man. Listen, if you guys could come up on alpacas, man, definitely get 2 females, and they will they live over 20 years, so they're with you for a hot minute. You know what I mean? So, dude, yeah, dog, I'm this close to getting them to come inside the house, like this close. I'm telling you right now. And once I do,
they don't want to come in.
No, I'm just slowly, you know what I mean? I feel like we're it's more like my dogs. Capone's a fucking weirdo. Like this is his fucking domain in here, bro. And he just, I don't know. I can't even get a third dog because of him. Like he needs to get older. He needs to chill out because he's just fucking, I don't know. He's a dick. But yeah, man. Alpacas is where it's at now. Do you have any other pets besides the snakes?
Yeah, I got a mini schnauzer, a little dog. His name's Merlin. He's he's an OG, man. That dude is he's 10 years old, man. But he's a good dog. I always grew up with pets, mainly reptiles though. Like I was growing up, I was the little kid that used to, go to the woods and just catch snakes, and I would go to school with like a snake in my bag, or go to a friend's house with a frog in my pocket. Like I always had reptiles. I was that kid though. I was that little kid in the woods, just a little dirt bag.
Little dirt bag. Damn, that's what's up, man. So what about so you got any children? You do have a kid, right?
Yeah, I got 2 kids. I got a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. Good kids, man. Good kids.
Bless
I
him.
spend a lot of time with him. You know, like I got daddy duties, and
Right,
I just
respect.
try to be as present as much as possible. Yeah.
Oh man, so way to go, man. I mean, I'm so happy for Lars because I could just see that he has all the love in the world and he's always with his mom. And like when a parent is that close to their kid, you're doing it right. That's all I know. Like I'm not a parent, so but I just know I've been around good parents and I've seen you know what I mean? So I know, you know what I mean? So shout out to Desiree, shout out to Alan, parents. Me and Steven are still
Des
babies.
knows it takes a village, right? You know, you got everybody out there helping you with Lars.
Yeah, I do. I'm lucky. I have a really good sitter. So that
oh yeah, shout out to the sitter. Shout out to Mindy. I like Mindy.
Mindy is the on-call nanny. Who's here?
Fire ass lasagna.
She's working with you guys too, right? Did I say that?
Yeah, come here, Mindy. Come here. She's right here too. Come say hi.
She's like, yeah, what are you talking about?
You gotta be on the podcast.
Here, to come smoke. Come smoke.
Yeah, MJ's got weed.
Hi, Mindy.
Hi. Don't we look alike?
Yeah,
you guys are twins.
Yes. Don't you want to talk?
That was it? How's working with RepTech?
Yeah, how's working with RepTech and Lars?
Great. Bye.
Great.
Mindy, everybody.
Well, that's I'm glad we clarified the ball python thing because Socrates was a little off on his story. I was like, what? So he was but now it makes sense on how you got started and how that progressed you into the Basin. So like you said 2015, so you got out of the ball python game 2012 was it, or 2008? I can't remember.
20 is when I started. 2012 is when I shipped them.
Okay.
And then
traveled the world.
Yeah, me and wifey, we traveled, but I was on the waiting list just like everybody else for Basins. You know what I'm saying? And
for that whole time you're traveling,
I didn't know. Yeah, so we actually traveled in 2015, and I bought my Basins. I bought a group when I was in Thailand, which was mad hard to do because I had to wake up at like 3 a.m. just to call the guy to make sure that we could make the numbers work, and then by 6 a.m. we're already like doing crazy excursions. And then, by the time I get back, I got to like move my money around. So it was hard. It was hard to like do, but that's the way Basins work, right? Like Basins, people hit me up all the time and they're like, I got cash in hand. And I'm just like, yeah, but so does everybody else, like everybody got cash. And, but no one got Basins for sale. And I was on the waiting list, for years. And then I did the ball python thing. Right, which is like, oh, someone got a snake for sale. Let me try to negotiate. Right, but I didn't know that Basins don't work that way, and I ended up like pissing a couple of people off because they were like, "Yo, what's up? I got this Basin for sale. It's $6,000," and I'm like, "Damn, $6,000. That's a steal. That's a steal. Let me get it for $5,000." and then they just blocked me. Like they were just like, "Oh, wow, you're one of those," and I'm just like, but I didn't know because what. With ball pythons, that was like the norm.
You never offer to pay for the fucking list price of the ball python.
Yeah. Even when I'm selling a ball python, I'm like, all right, they're gonna talk me down. Yeah,
you gotta find a number that you can meet halfway at, and everybody's happy. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's like Basin.
5,500.
I got blocked.
You got what?
It's all good. I got blocked.
Oh fuck, bro! You know how many times I've been blocked? I mean, not over pricing, or like
fucking. Yeah. You're infamous, bro. You're infamous.
I know, I do, but listen, there was one point that I'll tell you this. I think my first year I produced snakes, I started keeping a fucking window shopper list. Like I started keeping track of people who literally just waste my goddamn time, so I would never forget them. So, and I still have that. There's a window shopping list, and I know people that literally want to ask for pictures. They want to ask for all this shit, and then poof. And then you even meet them like, okay, well, can you do it for this price? Sure, I'll do it for this price. Okay, I'll think about it. What? I just said fucking God damn it. Window shopper. Done.
Nah, I'm not that cold. I'm not that cold. That's cold-blooded right there. But yeah, so I waited a long time. To get some basins. But that's what it takes, really. You got to really be patient, because let's say you go on Morph Market now. There's a couple of basins on there right now, and you could jump in right away. I mean, you could buy a basin. It's possible, but you're gonna pay top dollar, and you're not necessarily getting what you want, right? So when I look for basins, I know the parents, I know the sire, the dam, and I'm looking for characteristics, right? So if you're patient and you wait, you could definitely progress that way, right? Because here's a rule that Ed taught me, and I say it to people that send me messages, and I think I said it on maybe another podcast too, but 25% of the babies are going to look better than the parents, and this is from Ed. 50% of the babies are going to look like the parents, right? And then the last 25% is going to look worse than the parents. So if you start off with decent parents, nice parents, well, at least 50% or 75% are going to look that good and better, But if you start off with some super entry level basins, which is cool too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I guess it really depends on what your budget is and what you're trying to produce. But if you're trying to produce something fire, something next, if you want to produce this, right? This is not a basin, by the way. It's
what the hell?
I got it made.
Oh, I'm what the fuck? Where'd that come from? I'm tripping out right now.
Yo, did he just grab a basin like that?
Did he have a basin watching him this whole time, just sitting right here?
But you're not gonna produce something like this that looks like this from just a regular a low end animal or a low end male and female. And then people ask oh, what are the shortcuts? Can I get a nice male and then just get just a basic female? And it doesn't work like that either. It's not like a codom gene, at all, where you could expect certain results. Really, it's science. It's a lot of art, which is why I like it too. With ball pythons, it's easier because you have a pied, you have a banana pied. You breed them together, you're gonna get half banana pieds. The rest of them are gonna all be pieds. It's math. But with basins, it doesn't work that way.
But would you say
that's why? Oh, I'm sorry. That's why the pair that you got, fire. That you cush. That RepTech stuff that you guys got, man. It's next level. It's next level. If that baby was available, and if I had, if I had plans, I would definitely pick up the male that you got. That yellow gene, you might not even know. You might not realize how valuable it is. Just because it could be the next thing, right? People are into snowflakes, heavy whites. People might be into some striped basins. You know what I'm saying? But yellow, okay. See, there's another one. So it's just
this was a bunch of fake ass basins too.
Yeah, bro, I do it. Oh, nah, this girl, her name is Michelle. I figure her last name begins with an S. But I found her on one of the reptile pages, and she does she makes snakes out of clay. And I saw her she did all kinds of ball pythons and stuff. So I commissioned her to do a couple of projects because eventually I want to vent, man. I know you guys are all about going to shows, and I know you do the Pomona show, but you guys do Arlington and Tinley and stuff like that. I want to go out there too, but I don't want to bring basins. For me, it would just be way too risky. But I would love to get a cage, which is what I'm planning on doing, getting a cage and then just putting these in there so that people can see what a basin looks like, and I got no risk.
That actually might be smart. I'm not even joking.
That'd be interesting.
Or what you can do is You can make replicas of each snake you have for sale and just put the fake one and be like, hey, how much for this one? Well, this one's obviously at my house, right? So this is what it was.
Yeah. You're onto something. You're onto something.
Oh my God. Okay, so we were talking about breeding. We're talking about breeding and pairings right now and whatnot. So I kind of want to talk about this real quick. So was this snake paired to the one behind it?
So funny story about that snake, right? So that snake came from Germany. That's a Harold Quimbosch line. So HQ is Harold Quimbosch, and it's a stripe, right? So that animal, a co-dom. It's the only, well, right now it's dominant, right? So we don't know if it's a co-dominant because no one's bred a stripe to a stripe. So we don't know if it's a super form or not. But I bought that snake as a male, and I built pretty much all of my collection around that one being a male, and it ended up being a female. So both of those snakes in that picture are females, and I was planning on breeding that one to the one in the background, but obviously that didn't work out. And that's another reason why I got, so many females in just like one male, because that one was supposed to be the other male.
And you got a litter out of her this year, right?
Yeah. I bred her to my snowflake male, and I got 8 live, and then one stillborn, and the stillborn was like the pick of the litter. The stillborn came 10 days after the litter was produced, and it was amazing. It was like when I saw it. No, it's not that one. That one is that one is from. Well, actually, that's not the pick of the litter. That one is actually from that same litter as well. That one is that one's called Justice. Because when I took pictures of it, I'm like, man, that snake doesn't do justice. This snake right here, I told you like 25% of the babies look worse than the parents. That's an example of the snake looking worse than the parents. But at the end of the day, because it has like that snowflake bloodline in it, you don't know until it goes through its color change if it's going to pick up way more white than that. And it's very well possible. Ed was telling me a story one time where someone wanted to buy a snake, and he had a snake that was still red, and it was probably like a $2,000 animal. That's where he would have priced it at. And he ended up holding on to it, and then it picked up so much white, and then it ended up being a $7,000 animal. So that's why people normally don't sell out their basins until they go to the color change.
So this was considered a low end in your clutch right here. This is junk basically. You want to just give it to me?
Oh man, I mean, I don't call my snakes junk, but that's the lowest.
It's trash.
That's the last one, the least attractive. That's the least attractive out of every one that I produced.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's if that's what you have to say, I get it. But this thing is far from trash. It's far from fucking, and this thing is just even itself. It's fucking amazing. Yeah. And then this one right here, it's just a sibling, right? Same clutch.
Yeah, that's
or litter.
Clutch.
All right,
Right. The same eggs. They hatched on the same day.
In a sim container.
Damn, sim box.
I put all my basins in a sim container.
I have sim boxes thinking in my head all the time. Okay, so same litter. So this is litter mate, right? Litter mate, I guess you could say litter mate.
Yeah. Yep.
Sibling. All right. And then so how many? So, I'm sorry, I think I said this, but how many? Go ahead.
On that litter, there was eight live babies, and then just one stillborn.
Okay. And then what'd you do? How many did you hold back? All 8?
I let one go.
Okay.
One go. Yeah.
Lucky person.
Yeah. Yeah, very lucky person for real. Very lucky person. That was the live pick of the litter. I let that one go.
Nice. Now I noticed this picture on your Instagram account said textbook. You said textbook right here, right? So what do you mean by textbook? Can you give that to me? Yeah. So
basically, like there's just a few patterns with basins, right? Like you have frosted basins, which are like heavy white. They have like white flecking all over the body, and then you have like snowflakes, which usually have like either a thick stripe or really big patches of white around so that would be like a snowflake. And then a textbook snake is just like a line going down its back, so it has a dorsal stripe, and then it just has lines coming off of those, and then it'll have smaller diamond or smaller triangles like towards the tail. That's also a textbook. So that one is that comes from an old bloodline, and that one was from Marshall Mendez, his original 2013. These two are they were produced by Ed Marino, and I bought those two babies from Martin Roseman. He's a good person to put on the show too. That dude is like killing it when it comes to carpet pythons. That dude he's like a man with carpets. He's gonna get back into basins too.
All right. I'll have to get Steven on that one.
Send you a message.
Beautiful. Now what about this one real quick?
That one is that one was from Steve Volk, and that one's from his line that he calls an extreme line. And he has this male that's called Kyle, and that's one of his siblings. So I have her and I have her sister. Her name is Vanna White, and I got her sister. Her sister's name is Betty White. My girl Betty. I'm breeding them. I'm breeding them again this year. So I took a lot of losses, right? Big L's. Now my first time breeding was with that female right there, and I bred her. I bred her, and I did everything by the book, right? You know, you pair them up at the right times. You drop temps. You do all those stuff. Everything that everybody tells you about. Then the snake, had her post-ovulation shed, and then from there, everyone says that it's usually 150 days out. So I tracked everything. I write everything down, and then with her, she was on day like 188 from her post-ovulation shed, and I was getting worried. I was getting nervous, and then she had a bowel movement, and then that, people told me that within any time from after the bowel movement to 72 hours she should have the litter. Well, it was like 5 days after that, and she still didn't have the litter. So I was like worried. I didn't want to lose her because I know that sometimes pregnancies don't go well. You could lose the female in the litter if for whatever reason something blocked and she can't have the litter. So I brought her to the vet, and the vet did an ultrasound. They did X-rays, and they could hear heartbeats. And inside the X-ray, one of the babies looked like it was coming out of the sac. So my vet was like, "Yeah, we should induce her." So I induced her, and the whole litter came out premature. She probably needed like another 30 days. And then the lesson that I learned from it was I had a herpstat, thermostat set up, but the probe wasn't calibrated, and the probe was off by a few degrees, but a few degrees matters. And so her cage wasn't actually getting any heat. So, she was it was just going to take a longer pregnancy. She was fine because my room isn't cold. My room is heated, but she just wasn't getting that extra basking heat. So, I learned a lot of lessons with that. I learned, first of all, you got to be patient and you got to just let the snake do its thing. And one of the take homes, the takeaways that I got, and this was, from Ed. He was telling me, he was like, "Listen, if you try to go in there and you try to get a vet, to like either have surgery, or to like step up, you could lose the female, anyways. Like oftentimes they don't really make it. They don't recover. Oftentimes, they'll go through the surgery and they'll end up passing, or they won't be able to produce a litter in the future." So your best bet is to let nature take its course, and Ed would say you got to put it in God's hands, right? So you do that. So that was like one of the big lessons that I learned was, as worried as I was, and as much as I wanted to come in, and it ended up costing me the litter. Like, fortunately, I still got the female. She recovered. I'm actually breeding her right now. This season, and she had 2 years off, so she's ready to go.
Hey man, one of the biggest things I say now when I breed any fucking snake is as long as the fucking female makes it out of whatever happens, then it's not really a big loss. You didn't get the outcome you wanted, but the loss is losing the female. If you lose that female, that's a loss because that project's done. You got to move forward now. That's gonna happen. We all got females that are gonna drop at some point. That's just it's what comes with it. What matters is what you do with that. It's about how much fucking you got in you to pick it up and keep moving. And luckily, I've had a lot of bad shit happen one after another to where I'm like, what the fuck? You're in this. You're
stone cold, bro. You're stone cold.
Exactly, bro. I got a fucking, I still got a heart, because of the alpaca. So I do love some things, but if shit gets out or shit dies, like, I'm gonna take super mental note of it, but I'm not gonna let it stop me. You know what I mean? It charge it to the game, bro. Charge it to the game.
That's it. Charge it to the game. Pay them dues, bro. Pay them dues.
Right, Steven?
Pay them dues.
Steven done paid a lot of dues. Desiree done paid a lot of dues.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What, Desiree? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Oh yeah, I love you.
Yo, Des, this is a quiet. Yo, I've never seen you so quiet.
She's off that.
I'm just listening.
She's off that CB day. She's off that CB.
I might be
she's chilling right now. She's chilling.
What's one of your favorite? Which one of your favorite distinct thing about the basins that you love? Like, for instance, I pulled this picture up because I fucking love this shit. That little black like that thing is nuts, and I'm sure all the basins have that, right?
Yeah, I for some reason I can't see the picture on my screen, but I already know which one it is. So like on the bottom of their mouth, they all have that like black slit, and that's one of the characteristics of like identifying a basin, because from my understanding, northerns, they don't have, it's not black under their mouth.
It's just skin. Yeah, it's just like it stretches and it's just like skin. It's not black at all. No.
Yeah. A lot of people like look at the scale count on the top of its head, and that's not 100% accurate either, right? Like people say that basins have those small scales, which they typically do, but not every basin has like really small scales on the top of its head. Sometimes you'll find basins with like larger scales, not necessarily as large as northerns, but I've seen northerns with like small scales on the top of their head. So there's a lot of like fluctuations between that. All basins have that black underneath their head. That's for sure.
Oh, know that.
Who was the breeder? I'm pretty sure it was Ed, right? Who counts how many white scales on how many
diamonds?
Yeah. Ed is a beast. I'm trying to tell you, Ed is a beast, right? So, I go to his house. This is the first time I hang out with Ed, and he's showing me his whole collection. And I mean, his collection is sick. Like you have no idea, because Ed doesn't post much. And when he posts, it's not like a flex. It's not like, oh, this is my best friend or anything like that. He just posts random. He just randomly posts. So when you go to his house, like I said, I'm a nerd when it comes to this shit, right? So like you show a picture, I probably could identify it. Probably, like I got a good chance. But I'm like, yo, Ed, like this snake's fire. I've never seen this one. He's like, oh yeah, never posted that one. And it's like snake's like 4 years old, Like he got crazy amounts of snakes. But one thing that he has, I'll never forget this shit, is he has like this big ass like magnifying glass, and it has like an LED light that goes around it, and it's like the shit that the jewelers use. So he goes and he's like, hey, check this out, and then he like puts it underneath the magnifying glass, And he's like, you see that? And I'm like, damn, I would have never even looked for that shit. But that's the type of shit that he's doing. Like,
wow,
damn.
he's really like looking at all of those details.
Yeah,
and that's why Basins are the way they are right now. You know, because the dude put in work. I mean, he got 30 years in emeralds. You know, 30 years, and you know, he got great grandparents. You know, he bred this year. I think his oldest female, I think it's 25 or 23, and she just produced a litter. And I saw her gravid. She's fucking massive. She's huge.
Fucking wild, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, older than Steven, huh?
I was only 10 years older on that. I mean, like, dude, I didn't have hair on my balls yet. You know what I mean? I was fucking little.
We were born in the same year, MJ.
Yeah, me and Desiree, little fucking kids, fucking probably getting dirt on our knees and shit. Like at that time, who fucking knows? And that's crazy, man. And Ed was already getting into it and stuff. That's why I respect all the OGs, man. The fools who've been, because like this isn't easy. Like with all the losses you take, like, what happened?
No, keep going.
Okay. With all the losses you could take in this game, eventually, sometimes some people hit their breaking point and they just fucking give up and they just tap out. And like Ed's fucking been doing it. You know, I'm sure, like, you know, God forbid, when the time comes, you know, he might call it a day and want to enjoy his life more, but he's still just, it's been a part of his life for fucking 30 plus years, bro. He's been in snakes since, he said 85 is when he's been breeding snakes. So my whole life, basically. I'm 35, Desiree's 35, Steven's 15. So
yo, what? Don't let him roast you, Steve. Don't let him roast you.
I'm used to it.
Steven's gonna love it.
What?
Good.
Shout out to the young people, man. Like there's mad young people that are doing it. I'm only 36. I'm only 36. I got a year on you guys, but you know, there's just so many people. Like, you know, I'm talking to like Lucas all the time. You know, there's just so many young people that are doing stuff that, you know, I dreamt of doing at their age. You know, like when I was in high school, I was maybe 17, and I was, you know, pairing up green trees, and I see other people that are doing that at like, you know, 15, 14. Look at Socrates' daughter, bro.
Yeah, bro. Fucking Ariana, are you kidding me, dude? Like she's gonna be the world's youngest basin breeder in like fucking like years. And what's crazy, it's like, bro, like there is. I mean, what I always say, like fucking the new generation is just complete shit, but that's not really true. Like there's some that are fucking there's some that are being raised the right way. There is. I'm telling you right now. They're like this Lucas kid. I wish I was as cool as Lucas at that age. I met him when he was 4. Like he's only 14 still, but I met him at bar checks, and like I felt like he was cooler than I am, bro. Like not to think I'm cool or anything, but I'm just saying like this dude was fucking like just super laid back, chilling, like his knowledge on shit, like, you know what I mean? I don't know if chicks and all that, the kids his age are into it, like, you know, 14. I don't know. I mean, all I know is that this kid's on his way to be doing something hard as shit because how much he's like devoted and like passionate for what he's doing, and he's only fucking 14 years old. I wish I was onto something like that at that age, bro. That's for sure. Yeah,
I mean, plus you got the internet too, right? Where like you could just like literally send somebody a DM and then you know just connect with people. Like when I was his age, man, I was getting price lists in the mail. You know, like I would email, you know, people like Tom Crutchfield, and I would have to like, you know, send certain people, like you had to send them like $5 or whatever it was to cover like the shipping or whatever it was. But
pictures.
I would literally, I would get pictures, you know. But I was a little kid just in it, and I always knew that I wanted to be involved with reptiles. You know, I wanted to be a herpetologist, and my guidance counselor talked me out of it. You know,
wow.
Well, I mean, she had good intentions, right? So what we did was she didn't know anything about it. She didn't know how passionate I was, but you know, she pulled it up, and I remember I think they were getting paid like $16,000 a year. You know, like this is way back, and she was like, "Listen, you're gonna go to school, you're gonna get a degree, and you're basically gonna get paid minimum wage." So like she gave me guidance. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, now, I mean, when I look back on it, it wasn't bad advice. Like, sometimes when you're an adult, you know, you gotta like wake people up, kids up. Now I think that every kid should follow their dreams, but I think that there's different ways that you can strategize and get what you want, right? So now I'm working with Basins, and this was my dream species. So when I was a kid, there was this magazine. It was called Zoo Books, and I remember it was throwback. Like, I remember like just going to the library, and they had in the center page it was a poster, and it was a poster of a baby northern that was going through a color change. So it was all red and had green spots all over it. And of course, I took that magazine. Right, I took that poster, put that shit on my wall. But I always wanted to work with emeralds. I always wanted to. But at the time when I started like buying snakes, emeralds had a bad reputation. Everybody was keeping emeralds in fish tanks, and what they were doing was they'll just put like 2 inches of water in the bottom, and then they'll just put a screen lid on top, and then they'll just put like a light bulb. So really, like, the shout outs is to like all of the pioneers, right, who worked with these animals and like perfected just regular sound husbandry, so that now we could breed it with ease. I mean, it's still not easy, right? But like once you check a couple of boxes, I mean, eventually you're about to get lucky and produce a litter,
Yeah.
But back in the day, man, people were losing animals left and right. Like it was tough. It was tough.
Now, I do want to ask you, because you do have experience with a litter, so you have one litter to credit towards your name, right? Which happened this year. So
no, two litters this year. I got lucky.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You did get two. My bad. No, yeah, you get to. All right, so you got two litters. So I want to ask you because it seems like a lot of people seem to like get into the first year of breeding, either northerns or basins, and they don't have anything happen the first year or two. Like, and I'm talking about their females are well old enough and stuff like that, and it's their first go around. Sometimes it doesn't happen for the first year, 2, or even 3 years. And what do you think that could be from, or what is it with, in your opinion, what do you think that's why?
I mean, a lot of people say, and I came from breeding pythons, right? So it was just easy. I mean, it's like A plus B, I mean, not easy like that. I mean, some species are, challenging, right? Like, so bolins, obviously, like a lot of those, Southeast Asian species are like tougher. Aussies are not too complicated, but diamonds were back in the day. But a lot of people struggle with boas, and I've been experimenting with a lot of things. I honestly think the biggest reason that people are not successful with them is, just like these false positives, right? So like me, right? Last season, I bred 3 girls, but I got 2 gravid. One girl, I was breeding heavy, and she was building, so she was growing in size. I fed her less, and I could see her like with this bulge. She shed, so I'm like, all right, good. Now I'm starting to count the days. But she was just building. So I pulled the male too soon, and she ended up reabsorbing those follicles. But meanwhile, I had no idea what's going on. I'm still counting around the days. And then I'm getting stressed out because she's like passing 150, 160, 170, 180. And then COVID started. So I couldn't I don't have an ultrasound machine, and I couldn't bring her to the vet to get an x-ray done, see like what's going on the inside. But I think that's the problem that most people have. They just pull the male way too soon, and they get excited, too early. And that's it. So a lot of people say that, temperature is like a big thing, and a lot of people temperature cycle, but I temperature cycled my first year, and I had a female that was gravid that got a respiratory infection and passed away. So I lost a female and a litter. And that was the same year that I bred the other female and I induced her, right? So that was 2 potential litters, and then also 1 female that I lost. So after that, I stopped temperature cycling. I'm just like, you know what? I'm keeping my room constant, at 85 during the daytime, and then it drops at 78 at night. Because I don't want to deal with respiratory infections. Yeah, my whole room. Yeah, so I got a room set up. Yeah, my room is like a cage.
It's 85 throughout the year?
Yep, yeah, yep.
Heavy.
Yeah, I'm not changing it. So I kind of kept that to myself because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to like go around and spread all this like bad information. There's a lot of people, the internet. Anything you read on the internet is right? Doubt
it.
But I'm like, all right, this year I'm gonna try to breed them, and see what happens. And I ended up with 2 litters. So, going forward, I'm not gonna lower my temperatures. Now, some people do. A lot of people do, and it works for them. But I don't think it's necessary because people that found like baby emeralds, all throughout the year. Every month of the year they found baby emeralds. And to be honest, I mean, I lived in Miami for 10 years, and the temperature doesn't fluctuate much. You get a couple of days and maybe 2 weeks out of January and February that dip, but for the most part, it's 85, 90 every day of the year. So if Brazil is anything like Miami, which it seems like it is, then there's not a big need to temperature cycle, at least not for a long period of time. But a lot of people had really good results with it, and it works for them. So obviously they're going to continue to keep on doing what they're doing because if it isn't broke, just keep on going. But for me, I wanted to change it up and experiment, and so far it's working out well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people need to just figure out what works for them and not give a shit that, oh wow, well this person didn't do that over there. Well, because you're sorry.
Yeah, like how are we gonna learn, right? How are we gonna learn if everybody does the same shit?
I'm just saying that they're not where you're at. You're not where they're at. It's different client.
Right.
It's just different fucking surroundings, different areas, and like for instance, like you were just like, well, look, I don't want to really tell anybody that I'm keeping my room at 85 because nobody else is really doing that, but yet shit is working for you. Do you still give your females a basking spot even with the 85 and all that? So 85 plus the basking spot.
If they're gravid, I will. Yeah, if they're gravid, they will. If they're pregnant, then I will. But it's really not necessary. So obviously you had Ed on the show, right? And then Ed shows you his room, and he's showing you guys like his techniques. And to be honest, if somebody would have told me that shit, I would say they're full of shit. Like there's no way that they're doing that. But then I go to Ed's house and I see his cages, and he has like these acrylic cages, which are nice. They give you all that visibility. And what he'll do is he heats his room up too. Like I learned those lessons from him. And when a female's gravid, he literally just takes a light and he just like moves it on top of the cage. Because normally the light is just sitting in between 2 cages, right? So it'll be like right there in the middle between these 2. But when one's gravid, he'll just move the light over there, and she's just sitting under like a 40-watt light. So, I'm asking Ed all these questions because I want to get it right. And I'm like, hey, Ed, what temperature is it directly under that light? And he's like, yeah, I don't fucking know. So I shipped him a gun, right? I'm like, yo, Ed, tell me the temperature. And he's like, man, I'm old school.
I'm old school. You're like, you're like, do you have a temp gun? He's like, a what gun? He probably doesn't know.
Yeah. And look at that dude, like, that dude, could write the book, and it just goes to show you, like, all right, you just gotta like dial in a couple of parameters. Once you get that shit dialed in, then like you said, you just gotta find out what works for you, and what works for somebody else might not work for you. But figure out what works for you, then you're good, you're golden.
Yeah, man.
I learned so much shit from that dude, man.
And I'll tell you, it's not as easy as as it sounds either, because you have to trust yourself. You need to believe that, listen, I know my, you know what I mean? Like, it's a hard thing to do, bro, because
tough.
there's things that you run into, like you said, you had to take a huge loss with not a huge loss, but you had to induce a fucking female early, and you lost that. How many snakes did you lose on that litter?
So I mean, she was like at the early stages. I didn't cut her open to see how many babies were in there. So I don't know. I want to say like a small litter for Basins is 8 babies. So
Damn.
maybe 8, but maybe some of those were slugs. I mean, I don't know. But she definitely was gravid, which sucks.
Yeah, but you saved her, so that's what matters, right?
No. Well, no. I'm talking about the one that didn't make it, that had the respiratory infection. The other one, my bad. So you were talking about the other one. So the other one had 8 live babies. So there was 8 heartbeats, and you could already see like a pattern too. Like at that stage, they were like orange, and they just had this like huge yolk sac, and it was. I mean, they had a long way to go, but like you could already see, really wide stripes, because like it all starts with the parents, right? Like if you have quality female and quality male, you're gonna get really nice babies.
It's crazy, dude. That's nuts.
I'm excited.
Steven,
yeah, you should be. That's pretty dope.
Do you have any wrap-up questions for Alan, or do you have anything?
I mean, I had a couple things. You talked about how you introducing your males. How do you do that? Like, at what point do you throw a male in, and how long is he in there essentially?
Yeah, good. I mean, that's a great question. I try to wait for visual locks before I pull the male, but it all depends on the female. Like I got one female that's aggressive, and but all of the other females are like really docile. So my strategy is putting in the male in the cage during the daytime, when the female is sleeping, and then sometimes I'll like put his shed in her cage too, so she like gets a heads up like before I introduce him, so she could smell the male. I don't know if that's really necessary or not, but I'll leave the male in there usually for like 5 days. And in 5 days, usually I'll catch like two locks. I have the male in with a female right now, and I've been pairing them up for a couple of months now. And right now, they've been in the cage. He's been in the cage for maybe 10 days, and I haven't seen any visual locks. But she's also starting to go in the shed. So kind of like practicing what I preach, right? Like I don't want to get excited right now saying, oh shit, he's not breeding her anymore. And then now she's going into shed, so she must, maybe she's gravid, or maybe maybe she will be gravid. So I'm going to continue to pair them up, even after she sheds. But I'll remove him from his cage, give him a break, give him at least like a week, see if he needs to eat. One of the tips that I learned from Ed was you want to keep your males lean, right? Like fat males, they don't breed.
Yeah.
So he's not skinny at all, but he's lean and he's active, like he's on the move. So I'll give him a couple of days to rest. Another tip that I found, right? So that striped litter, I only paired that male with that female either 1 or 2 times, and I don't have an ultrasound machine. And she produced a full litter of 8 babies. So what I noticed was I had him in his cage, and he was just cruising nonstop. Like he was moving branches around, like he was very aggressive, like in his quest. And I think he could sense that that she was prime. So I literally took him out and I put him in the cage the next morning, because she's the aggressive one. And that same night they were locked up. I think I only put them in there like like maybe one week, and I saw like maybe 2 locks during that week. And she ended up getting gravid. So a lot of it is paying attention to your animals and knowing, like when things start changing.
Yeah.
Super.
Sure.
Cruising.
And then I also
cool.
wanted to talk more about the whole the HQ stripe line. So you said it's actually looking like it's a dominant gene, not just like a line bred thing.
Yeah. So there's been several of them like produced. So this is Guy in Germany. Dio, I think he's in he might be in Italy or Austria or Sweden. No, not Sweden. But yeah, so there's a couple of guys out in Europe that have like this line, and for the most part, 50% of the babies come out with a stripe. Now, I didn't hit the odds, this go around. So she had 8 babies. I only had 2 that were striped, and then the third one, which was the stillborn, was also striped. But so far, no one's bred a striped male to a striped female. So, I mean, who knows what that superform could look like if there is a superform, right? So, you've seen all kind of like strange shit happen with like ball pythons. Like who would have thought that 2 Mojaves would have produced a blue-eyed leucistic, but who knows? I mean, not saying that the stripe is going to produce like a leucistic basin, but no one knows what that would look like. So I'm glad that the one that I got ended up being a female instead of a male, because now she's an adult. I just need a male to go with it. So I'll have to line breed one of her like a son back to the mom, to see if there is a superform.
Wow, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
Super exciting.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second, because I feel like everybody's showing some.
It's like it's a tradition here.
Yeah. This is my favorite. Oh, hold on. Peep the shirt. So I got a little picture on the back and stuff.
Super hard. I need. I want one of those. By the way, put me down for one of those XLs.
I'm mad. I got you, bro. I'm mad souped on these shirts, bro. Mad souped on it. But
yeah.
But I got this baby. It actually had a bowel movement yesterday, and this one is like my favorite one.
All right, let's see.
So this is like my pick of the litter right here, but it has like this big, like splotch, right behind its head, and then there's a lot of white that's coming in. So what's cool about Basins too is you don't really know how much red is in there, but if you look, like there's some dark patches, like there's a dark patch right on top of the head, and I think there's gonna be more white that's gonna come in under there, but you don't really know, So like this one is definitely a standout, but that whole litter came out pretty dope. There was only 4 of them, so she had 4 live babies, and then she had 6 slugs, which hurt a little bit, but at the end of the day, the 4 that was like super fire. So.
Oh wow! Well, now it goes clear. You got to be shitting me. Look, see now it's crystal clear, right, dude? By the way, that was a shitty ass fucking visual, but it was. but we can still see how sick it was. Like, I mean, even how bad clearly the picture was, it was still like, whoa, what the fuck is that? I could still I'm still impressed that you produced that fucking thing. That is nuts, bro.
Yeah. So that's like how it goes, like with the percentages, right? 25% look better than the parents. And that one, and then there's another one that has like a really, really wide stripe. And I was talking to Ed. Ed thinks that it's gonna be one of the top basins, probably outside of his house, because that dude got I tell Ed all the time, I'm like, Ed could literally stop breeding snakes for 10 years, easily 10 years. And
still be ahead.
Not that he doesn't really give a shit about this, but like nobody would like be able to catch up, and produce the shit that he has. 10 years easily.
He could give half of it away and still have the other half and still be ahead of somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Like he just too far advanced because that's all he's been working with, bro.
Yeah. Well, so with you, I know you got a couple of species. You got some retics. Are you planning on breeding those retics? I know you got ball pythons and shit like that too, and some scrubs and Timors and.
I'm doing giveaways, and the giveaways are starting with my retics. I'm giving away all my
retic.
No, dude. I mean, here's the thing, dude. It's just one of the biggest doses of reality I've had so far in this hobby are like how overbred retics are, and like how massive like clutches they have, and a lot of people. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of got a fucking big hit of reality to where I'm like, all right. If I ever do breed retics, I'm breeding maybe one pair a year, and that's it. And because it's either, I don't know, man. It's a heavy load, and as much as I love working with these animals, I don't want it to be work. I want it to have fun, and I feel like having to sell fucking 50 goddamn retics, it would just be. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking about it, and I like these damn animals because they're big, they're beautiful, and I just enjoy them for who they are, and fucking, I don't really care too much about breeding retics. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do have a couple of projects I'll toss here and there. But I went from 12 retics to like what now I have like 7, and now even 7 is kind of too much because they're getting big, dude, and they're causing up a lot of space, which I don't mind, but I have other obsessions. I have like, other things that I'm getting into and I want to keep for the long term. I don't know, bro. I don't know. You're asking me a hard question right now. I'm sorry.
I love retics.
I love them too, bro.
They got some of the coolest morphs, and they're arboreal, right? So like most people, they don't realize that an adult could like literally climb a tree.
So check it out, bro. Another thing that made me feel like shit is I went to go to Brian Barczyk's fucking Reptarium, and he pulled out a fucking 18-foot retic that was gigantic, cute, Lucy, right? Big ass fucking retic. And then as soon as he put the retic back, it perched at the top of a tree that it had. And this fucking retic was perched in a tree, and it was there for a hot minute. Dude, these animals love to be high. They like to be in the trees. And I have mine in like 6x2s and 7x2s. And I'm like, man, this is fucked up. Like they need to be like able to like access shit. And, I don't know. I put purchase for my Timors, and sure enough, my Timors are all over that bitch. And Timors are related to the retic. They're the only relative to the retic. But you didn't know that, Steven. No. But anyways, I was like, man, okay, listen, if you really, I don't know, it's just kind of like, it's kind of seeing a dog in a kennel almost. I feel that. It's weird because listen, I don't mind keeping ball pythons in a fucking tub because low key ball pythons are probably stoked to be in a tub, and that's what they do. You know what I mean? And I feel like they're happy in that, and I just feel like retics are just, they're more aware, they're more fucking alert, and they're like. I don't know, man. They're just fucking different, bro. They're like the dogs. They're like a dog reptile. It's weird. Retics are they're stupid as shit. I mean, even though they can be smart sometimes, they're also like they're kind of like the jocks. Like they're kind of just like fucking all muscle, not really kind of much thinking. But I don't know, bro. I love them. I love them though, man. I love them. I definitely got some retics I'll never let go of because I'm just like, like OJ. OJ is one of my first ones I ever got. And then I have a Burmese. So here's the funny thing is, dude, I started getting into Burmeses, and luckily, fucking my home. Shout out to Andrew Acevedo. He kind of just telling me, he's like, bro, why do you want to buy Burmeses? And I'm just like, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess you're right, because like I was looking at getting females, and like. He's like, ask me, like, do you really want to breed Burmese? Ask yourself this: do you really want to breed Burmese pythons? And I was like, yeah, you're right. Fucking. So I just kept the one that I had.
Brian,
that's another thing too. Like, God. Go ahead.
Brian's living the dream. That's what I would love to do. Like I would, Barczyk. I would love to, have a room full of basins, right, that I could breed and just, be creative. But I'd love to have like a spot like you guys too, even like RepTech, right, where you just have a lot of different species, and then some of them maybe you're breeding, maybe some of them you're not, and they're just like pets, and you're able to provide, like you said, right, with Lucy, just a big ass cage, and just a lot of enrichment. That would be my goal, really. If I can continue to grow, and if I could, finally get some of my money back, people, it's funny, right? Like if we talk about money and shit like that, on the snake side, Basins is not like a get rich quick, species. It's not even a get rich species, right? Because for the most part, people are breeding one male or one female. You're not stretching a male out. Like say, I know some guys with ball pythons who breed, one male. They'll put one male on 15 girls. So you could imagine the amount of like damage that they're doing.
Yeah,
I've heard like
girls.
6 or 7, but 15. Wow.
Yeah, I heard the most I ever heard was like 17 or 18.
And then what day did the male die?
yeah. But
that's real, right? That's real. So like imagine even still like 5 girls, right? Like that's easy to do, especially if you have an ultrasound machine.
Right.
So you could literally buy like a big money male. Say you put 20, 30 into a male, and then you could stretch them out. If you got a decent females, they didn't have to be like that exceptional. You could make a ton of money. But with Basin, since it's 1-to-1, and you have to wait 5 years before a female is an adult, and if you want to grow, you got to hold them all back. Like I don't want to say that you'll never get your money back, but it's gonna take a long time, And if you want to sell the babies, I mean, you could, but who wants to do that, That's
what's the point of breeding snakes? Like you don't sell them, like you keep them all. Like,
exactly.
Bottom line, when it comes to breeding Basins, it's like fucking if it happens, it happens, but you don't really fucking like set, like, I don't know, you can't expect shit from it. Like it's kind of like it's like hitting a home run. It's like hitting a home run at the plate, bro. If it goes over, it goes over. You know what I mean? Let's fucking you go and take hacks and just swing the bat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all you can do.
Basins are fucking cool, man. They got a lot of different personalities.
Yeah. Each
one of them is so different, and they're not all like docile like people say. Like I got one that's mean. Ed's girl Noelle, which is like the kind of like the female that started like she didn't start at all, but like she's a big part of like everyone's snowflake projects.
Right.
She's aggressive, like you know,
personalities. So, there's no one same of everything. Like everything comes in different fucking. There's even aggressive ball pythons.
One ball python has a total dick. Like, no matter what you do, it's still gonna try to fuck you up. Incredible.
That's why, that's why I should chill. Like, because I hear people all the time saying ball pythons are all the same, and even I fucking say that sometimes. But that's not really the case either. Sometimes, like there are personality fucking traits differently, like different traits in ball pythons as well. But for the most part, they're all bitches.
For the most part, they're rocks.
They just fucking they don't care about you. Yeah, scrubs care about you.
Scrubs like to do yoga.
Scrubs. Fuck, dude.
You gotta set up the Patrick's house.
Because all I could think about is Patrick's toe yoga picture when his fucking toes. And I'm like, Patrick, what's up with your toes? He's like, I got long toes. And I'm like, fuck. He's motherfucker. He got no fat on his body. That motherfucker shredded, bro.
Lean. Did you hang out with Patrick in Arlington? You saw him out there, right?
A little bit, yeah. We got to kick it with him a little bit. He had to work. Like we saw him Saturday, right? So Saturday he came. Did you guys see him Sunday or no? You guys didn't see him Sunday either, huh?
We were there for like half an hour on Sunday, so we didn't see anybody.
We're going back to Texas. Not even during Arlington, but we need to go kick it up. We need to go have a barbecue in Bill's backyard.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Just go back and forth in his room, his snake room, go out, I will go sleep in his guest room. I won't get too drunk this time. And fucking
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And then we gotta go kick it with Ari. I want to go kick it with fucking Patrick Holmes. Like, dude, Texas is where it's at.
Texas is the place.
Rocking. And then dude, the Blake Wilson, we gotta go kick it with Blake too. He has a sick ass facility. Who do you know in Texas, Alan?
No one comes to mind, other than Patrick, like right off the top of my head. I don't really know too many people. I don't know too many people in Texas. Not really. Like there's a lot of breeders that are in Florida. There's a lot of guys in Florida, Georgia. Unfortunately, there's not that many basins. Like the basin community is like really, really small.
Yeah.
Green trees it's a different animal, right? Like with green trees, you still have imports coming in. They have like larger, litter sizes, right? Like some people are, cranking out 30 babies from a female. Basins, I feel like the group, right? It's just going to always be small, just because they're not coming in, they're not being like produced heavy, and then the people that want to get in, they just want to keep on buying more and more and more, right? So, say example, if there's a new breeder that doesn't have any experience, with like, let's say emeralds at all, or even green trees at all, and they want to buy a basin, I'm probably not going to sell it to them, because I got so many other people that have experience, that I have a higher likelihood of that animal surviving, and them, maybe not needing me to like hold their hand, and coach them along the way. Like I don't mind doing that, but I don't want to, kind of sell an animal with someone that has no experience whatsoever, just to, just for the snake not to make it. Like I'd rather, to be honest, I'd rather just keep the snake myself.
Yeah. I'd rather keep it. That's the way. I mean, that's how I even look at just my continent. Chondros are awesome, but my chondros, I'd rather just keep it if I can't sell it to somebody where I could keep tabs on it or know that this fool could fucking take care of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can't imagine basins. Jesus, I'm gonna be like Ed. My plan is to be like Ed. I want to fucking stack Sterilite tubs of baby fucking basins. It'd be like, and I want to have people like that. I want to have people like Alan and Steven and Des come over and be like, "Oh, I forgot I had this," and fucking,
His room blew me away, right? I went there for the first time, and I'm seeing all of these snakes just set up like tub, and I'm just like, no fucking way, because I'm thinking, shit's mad complicated. They need all this space. Now, like these cages right here in the back. Those are 3x2x2, and I plan on expanding.
I love those. I love those. By the way, those are fucking hard as fuck. I love those enclosures. By the way,
yeah, they look good.
Don't you wait? Okay, Desiree, don't you guys? Isn't this the enclosure style you guys have? That's by the cabin. I forgot something like this. The one I wanted, and you're like, no, they're better.
Similar. Okay. The doors like on that one like swing out instead of like it looks like Alan's drop down.
All right.
Yeah, they drop down. Yeah.
Go ahead, Alan. My bad.
But eventually when I get a bigger place, I want to even upgrade my cages and do something bigger. So I want to go, instead of like 2 feet tall, I want to go maybe 3 feet tall, and then either instead of 3 feet long, I want to go either 4, 5, or 6. So it all depends on how much space I have to work with, and also how many I have, right? So like my goal is to grow. And I want to produce, way more than just 2 or 3 litters a year. My goal is, to go for like, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just have that many, because I really want people to have, like, I want there to be more basins. Right now it's really like, Ed's doing all the work, right? Like if people want basins, we're all just waiting on Ed to like produce more. And, there's really no like big producer, right? Like if you think about other species, and I try to explain this to like people when they ask me questions about man. With ball pythons, there's probably, I want to say at a bare minimum 200,000 that are being produced in the United States every year. Bare minimum 200,000. Well, basins, there's not even 200 that are being produced. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's the reason why like people are like, why are they so expensive? Oh, I mean, they're expensive because, like a lot of people like them. And on top of that, there's just not that, the supply is not there. So you got a huge demand and you got no supply. So, I'm not trying to flood the market or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of people want to get into basins and they would if they could, but they're just not enough. So in order for us to like kind of supply more, then you gotta, invest heavy in the beginning, right? So
Heavy.
I invested heavy in the beginning, and then now I got these babies, and I could cash out and get some money back that I invested, but instead of doing that, if I sold all the Basin right now, I mean, since I don't really need cash, I'd probably just take that money and buy another Basin. So like
this cycle, it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, facts. So like the only benefit to doing that is that now I could diversify my bloodline. So right now I got some babies some snakes that are from Steve Oak, so that's Steve Oak bloodline. I got some that came from Marshall, and Marshall had some of Tony's Tony Nikolai's like bloodline. I got one from Germany. I got some from Ed. So now I'm just stacking up the different bloodlines, and then this year, hopefully this year, I could pick up maybe 2 or 3 more babies that are just outside of the bloodline that I got now, so that I could just keep on expanding that, right? So that I got snakes to play with for the rest of my life.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the goal.
Setting yourself up. Setting yourself up.
Yeah, the goal really would be like, to have like a little facility like Bartek. I really think, Bartek's doing it right. Like that reptarium. I know it took him a lot to get there, and I can only imagine what it cost, because those every cage is fire, never mind, like the rare animals that he got inside there. But like the dude on a reptile level, right? From a reptile perspective, like the dude's really living the dream, right? Like the dude owns his own reptile zoo. Like that's fire.
The real deal. It's real deal. I'm telling you, it's fucking like, honestly, like I'm going to be making trips to Michigan. I never thought I would ever say that in my entire life, but Michigan, right? I'm going to be going to Michigan. Right. Like, so there's a 3.0, the 3.0 fucking grand openings happening, and it's supposed to be nuts. Like there's supposed to be fucking like a bunch of shit with Crocs that you can do, like swim with them. And
yo, what's up? Can you set me up with that?
Yeah, well, fuck.
I want to get in on that 3.0.
Let's roll. Yeah, fucking. I think it's in May or something like that. So I'm making a trip out of it. I know Des and Steven will roll up too. Fucking, we should just meet. We should just meet in Indy so you could check out RepTech, because RepTech is fucking fire, bro.
I'm down for that. I like road trips. I love road trips. But
I love RepTech.
Yeah, that'd be dope. So his 3.0 is the expansion, right? And then it's also like a podcast at the bottom.
Yeah, so that's going to be the biggest thing. So there's like the whole experience with the podcast. There's going to be like you walk in and there's going to be like a clear, like soundproof window where you could look in and see the person doing, you see Jay doing the editing, and then you'll see the table with whoever Brian's interviewing and shit like that. I actually did a podcast there and fucking sat at that table. It was the most sickest fucking experience ever, bro. Even Cusco was like, I can't believe we're fucking talking in here right now. Like it's crazy how fucking extreme this dude's taking it. And Brian did say that he is all in 110% on focusing on the podcast, because he says podcast is the future, and that's where it's at in 2021.
It is, man. It is. Mm-hmm. It is. I'm glad that you guys are doing this, right? Yeah, Unfiltered. I'm so glad that you guys are doing this. And I watch almost every episode that you guys got, like on both podcasts. Yeah, it's just fire. It's just fire.
Much love, man. Much love. Did you? What'd you say again?
I said Patreon.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Because so Alan thought we were going live tonight, because he thought we do the live, and I told him we haven't been doing lives in I don't know how many episodes. We've been just doing the privates, but what we're doing now is we have a Patreon page, because a lot of people do hit us up like, yo, when can we be a part of the live, blah blah blah. So we want to make sure that if you're part of the group and we trust you and stuff like that, then you could come check out our lives. You know what I mean? Like, but it's more of the private. You know what I mean? It's more of I don't even know what to say.
It's exclusive. All right. So if you're a Patreon member, you get the behind the scenes, and then everybody else has to wait a couple of days.
Exactly. Basically,
you get to ask questions and just be a part of it.
Be a part of it, right? So
I mean, that's where it's at.
There's more details to come, and then obviously, I think I heard something where like you could actually get a one-on-one interview with fucking Carl, dude. That's what I heard on certain. Yeah,
Carl's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I heard like it depends. Every now and then he might do a guest appearance and really just kind of like.
And then like that.
I saw him on the last episode.
Yeah, he's wild. He's fucking wild. But you know, some people are into that Carl thing, which respect. You know, Carl does have a good point to a lot of his fucking arguments, but it's always arguments. He can just never give props to a guest. Period. There's just always something on top, and that's why I'm like, bro, I have to cut you off. I always have to cut him off.
Dated, like that's really Carl. He's just, you know, I don't know who hurt him or pissed him off, but like he's just always mad at the world.
All the Wilds could be thriving, and he's still going to be pissed off. That's just fucking Carl. I mean,
let me ask Carl a question real quick, right? Because I've been
listening.
I've been thinking about this idea because I feel like there's a little bit of Carl even in me, right? Like, you know, I got these cages and they're industry standard, right? So I ask everybody, hey, so what size cages should I get, right? And then I got it and I'm like, damn, well, I feel like they should have more space, right? But ultimately, right, conservation, Carl really wants to have them back in the wild. So one of the ideas that I've been having is when I start selling basins, I'm making it mandatory. And I'm going to just include this in the price, right? So say example, I sell a basin, let's just say it's 5,000.
Okay.
In my mind, I'm thinking, all right, maybe 10% of that price is going to go to conservation, right? So there's a couple of couple of foundations that are out in Brazil that you could donate to, and then they'll buy like acreage. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let me like, I'm getting the gears rolling. And this has nothing to do with, like, it just has everything to do with me, right? Because there's like a little bit of conservation Carl and me. So I wanted to kind of get your take, or get Carl's take on that. Like, how do you think that's a good idea? Like, so obviously I want to like produce basins. I want to, you know, get them and let them be more mainstream, because I feel like everyone should have one. But at the same time too, I want to like reinvest into their natural habitat.
I'm gonna go get Carl real quick. Just let Carl. I don't want to speak for Carl.
Okay, he's here.
I don't even know what I opened.
I'm really curious about that though.
I'm curious too, because normally there's only stuff that guests say that piss Carl off. This is actually a good question for Carl. This is actually a good, like, you know, hopefully we get some legit feedback, which I'm pretty sure we will. But respect, bro. I'm glad you have that kind of mentality. I mean, because I didn't even. Oh shit!
This is my current favorite episode, and I'll tell. No, it's my shot.
Swear.
First of all, it's the first guest to acknowledge Carl. I'm happy. And it's the first guest who actually understood my message. So there have been lots of Carl. Hey, can you get me some water, please? Thank you. There have been lots of guests or just people in general who are anti-Carl. And yeah, maybe I'm argumentative, or maybe I seem pissed off all the time. It's because I don't see enough people conserving. And then I hear this idea of a percentage of all sales going towards conservation. And I'm just over the moon. I'm so excited right now. Like, somebody finally gets it. Hey, everyone listening right now who's listening to Carl this whole time, like, oh, he's mocking conservation. It's like, no, this is the goal. Somebody else gets it. The whole point of us doing this in captivity is to take the pressure off of the wild populations. And this is exactly how it works. This is the exact same reason why skin farms of crocodilians worked for conservation, is because for the fashion industry, which don't even get me started on that, there was the demand and it was going to be filled one way or hey, what are you laughing about? What are you laughing about? Explain what's so funny.
I think it's legit.
No, I'm listening. I love it, bro. I love seeing you happy. That's it. I keep going.
Okay, yeah, Carl's finally somewhat happy for once. Okay, everyone, cherish this moment while it lasts before the next guest. Okay. But what I was saying about crocodile skin farming was by captively rearing these crocodiles for their skins, it took the pressure off of those wild populations to where it was cheaper to buy the domestically produced skin than to poach it out of the wild. And proceeds from the sales of those crocodile skins went towards conservation efforts in the wild. Same thing you're saying about the sales of the basins. So I actually think this is my current favorite episode. This is the best concept that anybody brought up other than me.
All right.
And I you know,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that about the.
When Carl is not mad, my voice becomes a little more normal. Why do I even have to explain this?
Your hair looks good too. That's what's great.
Thank you. I worked on it today. I got it done recently. It's very shiny.
Can you fix your face? Is that possible? Or Carl, since you're here, do you have anything you want to ask Alan? Is there anything else you want to maybe pick his brain about?
So you're thinking about this stuff. What should other hobbyists do to at least start their thought process on conservation or educate themselves? Just what can they do to be of service to the conservation of all these animals that we've been keeping in captivity?
I mean, I think that there's a lot of different foundations that people could donate to, right? You know, first of all, if you're breeding, I feel like you should be donating to USARK, and that's important. But if you even go outside of USARK, you know, if there is like one species that you really like, and it doesn't even have to be reptile related. I mean, you could donate to like foundations, you know, that are like conserving gorillas. I mean, there's so many animals that I feel like need our help. And who better to be the ambassador for, right? Like, you know, you could do it. But I don't know, I've been thinking about the idea, and I'm definitely gonna go forward. But you know, I just wanted to kind of get your feedback on it because I feel like it's important. And there's I forget his name, but there was like this guy, he's like a billionaire who started buying a lot of land in the Amazon, and at first the government was against it because they didn't know what his intentions were. But like the dude, he just wanted to make just to conserve that habitat. So that's where I got the idea from. And I'm thinking, wow, you know, like the idea really isn't to, you know, make a ton of money off reptiles, but if I could do my part and even, you know, just purchase a few acres, shit, maybe it could even be more than that. Who knows? Maybe could you imagine like purchasing or donating 100 acres and just making that, you know, just a part of, you know, protected land? I feel like if we all did that, you know, if everyone even donated $1 towards that, you know, that's big numbers. That's big numbers. I think we could do a lot. And
you're speaking sweet music to Carl's ears right now.
Carl is every second.
Yo, me and Carl's right here. All right,
exactly. Right here. Same wavelength.
That's my boy.
This is an impacting guest right here. The first guest to ever make Carl happy. This is nuts.
Yeah, I mean it's a milestone. I mean, you know, this will be like a throwback Thursday clip. It's like, oh, Carl in a good mood, you know, like
what time
about conservation, I'm not being mocked for my passion. You know, I'm mocked generally here, but finally somebody else gets it. So Carl is over the moon at the moment.
This is that's probably one of the most unselfish things I've ever heard a keeper say so far, because that never even crossed my mind that you know yeah, you're making money that, you know, for instance, like you said, $5,000. Wow, it's a lot for an animal, but you know, obviously it's a basin, we work for it and all that stuff. But even that, you're still thinking about what you can do to give back. You know what I mean? Because you know you're not in it for the money, you know. And even though the animals you're making bring money, you're finding another avenue to help give back. And that kind of stuff spreads, man. I mean, that got me excited. So I mean, and Carl obviously. So that's what's up, man. That's mad respect, bro. Mad respect. Hey, Desiree, do you have a final question for our man Alan here?
I mean, I was gonna ask if you had any funny stories about Ralph Davis.
Oh shit, nah. You know what? But I didn't know Ralph, but I used to follow him back in the day. That dude was fucking wild, bro. Like I used to watch like all of his videos. He used to be down, with that old ass like camcorder. But I never met him. But I heard all kind of shit, man.
Yeah.
And Ralph Davis was the GOAT. That dude was a beast. He was a legend, I don't know if he's like getting back into ball pythons or not.
For sure.
Side note. I'm getting back to ball pythons.
Woo!
In a nice way.
So you keeping some balls or what?
So
me and my brother we're teaming up because he used to have like a small collection too when I had mine, and he he called me the other day and he's like, hey, what's up? You want to get some more ball pythons? I'm like, yo, I'm with it. Let's go. And so we're getting it.
Do the trap talk now.
It happens that quick. Yeah.
Just like that. Yeah.
It happens that quick. It happens that quick. Dog.
And the cool part about it too was, like when you are a reptile keeper, and you make connections, you never really lose those connections as long as you're not doing people dirty. So I could literally like reach into my phone and just call somebody and say, hey, what's up?
Don't burn bridges.
Can I buy some snakes? And then, because I developed, a relationship with people and good people, like great people, people, been, kind of like responding back saying, this wasn't really for sale. This was for me. This is my holdback. But if you want to get into it, I want to get you in on this project and I want to set you up in the right way. So shout out to Lance, my boy coming through in a big way.
Hell yeah.
Marshall coming through in a big way, but I'm picking up slowly. Me and my brother, we're picking up slowly.
Whoa. Who'd you say, Marshall?
So yeah.
Let me guess. You got some ultra mill stuff, clown stuff, that kind of stuff coming. Am I wrong? Am I right? What are we talking about here?
They got some nice stuff.
Man. Listen, off camera, I'm gonna have to be. I'm gonna, you know what I mean. I need some information, dog. I just, I want to listen. Talk to me.
Yeah. Hit me up, man. Hit me up.
Yeah,
but
man.
this the cool part about ball pythons too is, obviously like the colors are pretty dope, but the community's dope.
Yeah,
there's mad people in the community, and
they're loyal, man.
And
love it.
Yeah, there's just so much shit to talk about. Like I love Basins. But the community is so small, that there's not that many people in. But when you work with like a popular species like that, I mean, you could find a lot of people to connect with. Like back in the day when I first started getting into snakes, I felt like nobody was like me, right? I'm born and raised. I'm an '80s baby. You guys are '80s babies. You guys are 1 year, younger than me. But the '80s was wild. You know what I'm saying? And I would go to these like reptile shows when I was a kid, and I felt like nobody looked like me. Like I'm light skin, I'm brown. There weren't like many like black reptile people. Like that wasn't a thing back in the day. Like now there's mad people. Now there's people that that hustle. That were trappers. Musicians, athletes. There was athletes back in the day. I mean, Chad Brown's been in it for forever, but I felt like, when I was in ball pythons, I didn't know Ozzy. I heard of Ozzy Bowards, but I didn't even know he's black. Because for the most part, like when I went to a show, and this is no offense to anybody, but like when I go to a show, there was nobody that looked like me. Like there was nobody with J's on their feet, you know what I'm saying? Or like Yeezys on their feet, For the most part, it was all like rock and roll dudes. And, I just felt like, man, like this is their hobby and I'm just participating in it. But now, like, it's just so, diverse. I mean, you got like, people like fucking Miguel, who's just like, I feel like Miguel's like one of my boys. Like, I had never met him, obviously, but he reminds me so much of like the people that I chill with on a regular basis,
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that for me back in the day, which was another reason why I'm like, hey, you know what? I like working with snakes, but but this hobby it's almost like it wasn't my hobby, but now it's everybody's hobby. Like anybody can get in on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's cool. You know, you could be young, you could be old, you could be rich, you could be poor. You know, you could you could be straight, you could be trans. Like everybody is invited, and everybody, you know, gets to have their own fun. And that's what I love most about the hobby. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I want to get back into ball pythons, right? Because like first of all, the color mutations and what you could do is fun. It's exciting, even though like the species they're not like super dynamic, but what you could do with it is the fun part. But also, you know, you just reach way more people, and you know, you get that social aspect out of it. Like, so when I was chilling with Socrates, this is a side note, right? I'm chilling with Socrates. I was over there stunting. I was out, Fort Lauderdale, stunting in a G-Wagon, right? So I rented a G-Wagon. That was my dream car, right? You know, I got a little spot on the beach, you know, and I was chilling. You know, I was going to bed at like 8:39.
Perfect.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to sleep, right? But you know, but you know, I don't know. I think everybody like has, you know, things that they want to really work towards, and different goals. And the reason why I brought up the G-Wagon is because I drive a Jeep now, right? And there's a community in Jeeps, right? Like if I see another Jeep, I'm a Jeep wave. Like I'm throwing up a deuce, and they're gonna send a deuce to me, and that's what we do. That's a Jeep thing. If Google it, right? It's literally it's a Jeep thing, right? It's funny because when I first got it, you know, he's like, "Yo, why are these people waving at you?" But it's a Jeep thing. But I'm in the G-Wagon, and you know, I love that car, but there's no community there, right? Like nobody. I was driving it, and I'm looking like, are they gonna wave? Are they gonna say what's up? They're gonna say nothing, right?
I don't give a fuck. You're just another G-Wagon down there.
Yeah, down there, right? So then, you know, I'm like, you know what? I like my community. I like my Jeep. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, because I'm like a community person, right? Like I'm probably gonna always have a Jeep, you know, just because I like that.
Because you're family. You're a family guy. You like tight knit shit. You like stuff that, you know, is like it's a circle. You know what I mean? That stuff you could fuck with. And I feel you on that. I'm the same way, man.
That's just dope. That's just dope to me.
Yeah, bro. You know what's funny? How you were talking about, you know, back when you were going to reptile shows and there's all these grungy and rocker fools, and you were just like, what the fuck, like, you know. But now you're in a place where look at the animals and you keep, and I can't help but to think of fucking that. You know, I mean, we all know golf, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He was the first black motherfucker, light skinned black motherfucker to come into the game and start fucking shit up. Tiger Woods. You remind me of Tiger Woods. I'm gonna call you Tiger Woods from now on.
You know who else is a beast? Lewis Hamilton. All right, Lewis Hamilton, the #1 race car driver in the world.
Oh yeah, beast.
Just won the fucking Turkey Grand Prix. And that dude's the man. He's a Tiger Woods of fucking racing. Not that like this is like one of those things, but it's way more inclusive. Like I finally feel like, yo, I could do, you know, like I could do anything and be a part of any crew, and it's not a big deal, you know, because I like to, at some certain point I like to blend in. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like to stand out. You know, I'm not a big flexer. You know, I like Basins and I like, you know, the nicer, unfortunately not expensive taste.
Yeah.
But I like to. Yeah, you guys, you do the flexing, all right?
Flex
but I like to, you know, I like that community shit that you were saying earlier. You know, like I am a big family guy.
That's what's up, man. Respect, bro. Well, I mean, I do gotta say this, bro. I mean, I'm glad we crossed paths. Even more happy that you came on this podcast, because I already know that your future is gonna be fucking bright as shit. Like just your 2 litters is just the start of what I feel that's coming for you, bro. And I'm excited for you, man. Much respect, much love.
Thank you.
It's been an amazing episode. My last question for you is for anybody, like for instance, anyone who wants to get into basins, from ball pythons, from any other species they want to get into basins, right? What's the first step they should take, or what's, you know, and let's obviously, you know, money's not the issue, right? So that being said, what's the first step of advice you'd want to give somebody like that?
I mean, people told me, and they were like arrogant about it, like, oh, ball pythons are not Basins. And there's a lot of truth to that, like you a lot of times you hear it in people, like they just like, all right, but what are the shortcuts? Like, oh, I get what this is, but like, give me the shortcuts. And there really isn't any, like you just plan, if you want to breed a female, like expect her to be minimum 4 years old, probably 5 years old, a male 3 years old, and set up your room or your enclosure like the right way, and just in it for the long haul, right? If you wait until she's 5 years old, you could breed her that year, and you give her a year off. You could breed her the next year, and you just keep on rotating, and you're gonna have 20 plus years of like owning that animal, and then still producing litters. Oftentimes with ball pythons, right? And this is a lesson that I know, right? Like, I'm a business guy. You want to be first to the punch with ball pythons, right? Like you want to, let's say you have, you're in the puzzle gene and you want to produce, I know you like GHIs, but let's say you want to produce a GHI puzzle. All right, well, the first person who produces that GHI puzzle wins for the most part. If you have a bunch of puzzle girls or like, puzzle combo girls, and you have that like exclusive male, I mean, the sky's the limit. Now you can produce other combos mixed in with a puzzle. But Basins are not like that at all. Basins, man, it's such a long game. It's so I would prepare for that. I feel like that's like the best advice that I can give to someone that's coming from another species into Basins. You really want to have that, that in the back of your mind, that it's going to take 5 years. That's what I see from most new keepers. Like I'm still a new keeper myself. I mean, I got 5 years under my belt. But in the beginning, when I first started, I'm looking for the shortcuts too, because I'm like, they're saying 5, but it can't really be 5. But that shit's really 5. I don't know. I don't know what happened with Tony's litter. I haven't reached out to Tony. I haven't talked to him. But he bred a female that was 3 years old, and I don't know what happened. I didn't see any pictures of a healthy litter or not. So I'm not, speculating. But what I want to say though is, for everybody else that's kind of like watching that, don't get excited and think that that's going to be the norm. Even if he did produce a healthy litter, let's say he had 10 babies, you don't want that exception to be the rule. And one other thing too about Basins that's like so key is that whole 3 feedings bowel movement. That's a bogus ass rule, man.
That what?
3 feedings and then wait for a bowel movement.
3 feedings, then wait for a bowel movement?
Yeah. That's like a big, like they say, never feed your emerald more than 3 times. And then if you feed them 3 males, wait for a bowel movement.
Okay.
But that's gonna end up, probably bad, right? Like a lot of people that follow those instructions, and those were good instructions back in the day, like they end up with like prolapses. They end up with like a lot of issues. You think that if I have a huge ass female, then she's gonna give me a huge ass litter. But it doesn't work that way with Basins either. So the female that I bred, that I induced, she was the smallest girl that I had, like gram-wise, but she was 5 years old. So she was old enough, but she was tiny. When she first started breeding, and she would have had 8 healthy, normal sized babies. Those are like the 2 biggest, keys and the takeaways. Probably feed a snake maybe 2 times max, and then just wait it out for a bowel movement. Make sure that you got your husbandry dialed in, and make sure that your cages are well ventilated, because they like airflow. They like humidity too, but having high humidity and no airflow it's just going to lead to a disaster. You're going to have like a lot of mold, and your snake's going to end up a lot of different problems.
Yeah.
So those are really the tips. Beyond that, if you want to produce cool shit, you got to start with cool animals. You can't say, oh, look at this female right here. This female is $1,500. If I buy this $1,500 female and I buy this $1,100 male, then how do I get snowflakes? Like, it just won't happen. It's just genetically impossible.
That's like breeding. That's like breeding normals and saying I'm going to make a clown. Fucking, you know what I mean? Or like it's
yeah, exactly. But back in the day with pythons, this is way back when the clown first started. People were doing that. People were buying normals with black backs, and they were thinking, oh, maybe this is a heifer clown, or if I buy these black back animals and I breed them together, then I'm going to end up with like a clown looking animal. And obviously that didn't work out, but there's like a lot of dinka projects, right? But yeah, Basins, man, Basins are different, man. These shits are like a work of art, man. And it's cool, you get to admire them, you'll admire them for a lifetime, literally, like what you said earlier, right? Like if I'm having a bad day, I literally just come down to my snake room and I'll just hang out here. Even if I'm having a good day, if I'm having a great day, I'll come down here and I'll just like sit at the cages and I'll just like watch them move. And then, it's like, it's perfect, with other species like ball pythons, when I had them, I wasn't even really like interacting. Like they would be in the tub and, I hardly like pull them out. I would hardly hold them because I had so many. I mean, it's not like I had a huge collection. I had like about 50 of them in total. But with 50 snakes, I mean, you're not really, giving them that time of day, But with Basins, I got a small collection, so I know all of them. I know all of their like habits, and I'm able to keep track of all of them a lot more easily. With a full-time job, with a full-time job and 2 kids and a wife, you know what I'm saying, and other hobbies too. I still have plenty of time for the snakes.
Oh man, that's what's up, bro.
That's cool.
What's up? Well, fucking amazing episode. Thank you, Alan, man. This has been a fucking epic 2 hours and 11 minutes, and I honestly don't think we got enough. We're definitely gonna have to do a round 2. Gonna have to need you on the Trap Talk too, since we do ball pythons now. So we'll have to take you on there.
One last thing, I just want to say shout out to Cool Buddy Cafe. You guys just sent me over some rats, and I appreciate that. So thank you so much. My shipment came in on point. Nice looking mediums, and real mediums, not like, not no like smalls that are labeled as mediums. So I appreciate that. I really do.
Mediums over here.
They're the best. Fuck yeah, bro.
Thank you.
Alan, real quick, how do you say your last name?
Ogunnaike.
Ogunnaike. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Yep. I'm half Nigerian.
That's sick. That's sick. Respect, bro. Well, man, thank you again. Like I said, you fucking definitely are a force to be reckoned with. Make sure you go follow my man on Instagram, Amazing Basins. Just fucking just check out what he got going on, man. He's updating a lot of shit on there. And yeah, bro, honestly, I'm a huge fan of your work. I know Desiree and Steven feel the same, along with a lot of others. So mad support from the Unfiltered team, and keep it up, man. We'll be in touch, and we can't wait to get you back on here, man.
Yep, definitely.
You guys take it easy. Have a good night.
Have a good night. All right, Alan.
Yeah.
Wow, that was sick. That was fucking sick. Haven't had a 2-hour interview or 2-hour session in a minute either. So this fucking felt good, bro. This was awesome. Awesome. How do you guys feel?
Good.
A little tired, but good.
Well, and I feel bad because we've been going at 4:00 Pacific Standard Time. Now we're at 6, so it's like 11 o'clock their time. And I did a podcast at 9 o'clock their time, and it was fucking tiring by the time we were done. So I'm sorry, guys. All right, listen, good shit, man. This was amazing. I cannot wait for the next week's show, which is going to be even more amazing, because every show we keep coming out with is just even more hot, man. And yeah, man, you guys are, like I said, if you guys want to join the lives moving forward, we're going to start getting our Patreon members a part of the team. And this page is finally up and fully going. The link is in the description below. And we're going to bring some really, really cool content to the table. So make sure you join that and be ready for it. But you guys have a great night, Stephen and Desiree.
You too, MJ.
Oh, nice. I like that note right there. All right. You guys have a good night. See you later.